Hey, welcome to Pokemon Go Ahead. I'm Alex Gum, aka Cheekley. I don't know about you, but I am so excited for next week because Go Fest is happening in New York City. And for the first time ever, we are attending to our first ever in-person Go Fest because every single year, it's always the global Go Fest that we participate. So this time, we're flying out to the Big Apple. It's been 3.5 years. You have no idea how excited I am about this adventure. So we're going to do a huge overview to get you ready for this huge event. Now note that some of these things are kind of similar to the Osaka and London Go Fest last weekend, so expect a little bit of like a repeat of what I said in the previous video. Before we dive into the overview, please be sure to subscribe. We are halfway to 1,000 subscribers. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when another video comes out. Then let me know in the comments below, are you playing Go Fest in New York City? I will be playing at Randall's Island Park where the event is being held Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then all the other times we're gonna be in the city. So all day Friday, all day Sunday, and like the second half of Saturday. So I hope to see you there. So just a reminder, this event is gonna be on August 18th through the 20th in New York City. You have to buy a ticket to go to this event. Unfortunately, all Saturday is sold out. So if you need tickets for Friday and Sunday, they should still be on sale. You can also choose between the morning experience, which you can play at Randall's Island Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then just play in the city for the rest of the day. Or you can do the afternoon experience where you play in the city from 9 a.m. to 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then you go to the park from 3 to 7. So it kind of seems like they're split it into different segments. So then that way they're controlling how much cellular towers and connections that everyone can have so the game doesn't crash. If you are available Friday or Sunday, there are still tickets available for those days. Unfortunately, Saturday is sold out. Sorry, I bought a ticket on Saturday. Don't mind me. In addition, there is also a city experience if you want to buy an extra citywide gameplay for an extra day or two, which is from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's going to be spawns all over the city. We're talking Queens, we're talking Bronx, we're talking Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. So if you're in those sections of New York, you're definitely going to see some spawns, but only if you're a ticket holder and you bought an extra day or two of your choice. The bonuses and features are pretty much the same as the London and Osaka Go Fest. We're going to start with the bonuses. Pretty much it's 1 half hatch distance, up to 6 special traits, reduced Stardust cost of 50% less, up to 9 free rate passes, and also 2 times cash candy. Now note to self that as I'm explaining some of this stuff, these are for ticket holders only. So if you are in New York and you did not buy a ticket, you are not going to have this experience. Also, if you decided to buy a ticket, you also get the option to add some add-ons. Now, if you didn't buy an add-on yet, you are still able to do so until August 18th. So if you decide to buy an add-on, you get the following stuff. You either can buy the Raid Lover add-on, the Enthusiast add-on, and the one that we mentioned earlier, the citywide gameplay where you play around the city. So the Raid Lover, pretty much you get more raid passes, you get up to 18. You get extra XP, which is like 5,000 if you complete a raid. You also get 6 additional candy and 3 additional candy XL if you catch a raid boss in tier 5 or mega raids. And then we have the Enthusiast add-on, which focuses on hatching eggs. I did this when I was in Las Vegas for the Hoenn tour, and it was really great considering that it was only Torkoal, Tropius, and Relicanth. Unfortunately, there's not anything really good in the egg pool from the Osaka London Go Fest. It's probably going to be the same in New York. However, you can take advantage of the following bonuses. 1/4 hatch distance for eggs, increased chance of receiving 10 kilometers, which honestly stick with the 7-kilometer eggs because apparently there are more rare Pokemon and more valuable and they might have a better shiny rate than the 10-kilometer eggs. But the biggest part is the fact that you get bonuses such as 3 times hatch XP, 3 times hatch Stardust, and 3 times hatch candy. So if you need a lot of candy and a lot of XP and Stardust, walking around for a little bit wouldn't hurt. And like we said, the city-wide gameplay is where you can buy this add-on to play an extra day or two. And now for the features, we have Mega Rayquaza in Mega Rays, which is going to be the #1 Pokemon, period. It is the top dragon and top flying, but it's also the top Pokemon as of right now. You also have different collection challenges for different habitats. We're going to go over the habitats in a little bit, but when you go to the in-person Go Fest at the park, you're going to want to complete the collection challenges. We also have field research tasks to grant you an encounter with carping. Now, carping is also going to be very important to catch, because if you catch a carping, there is a chance that you may get one extra mega energy for a Diancie. Speaking of Diancie, you can also do a special research at the park where you can be able to encounter Diancie and to mega evolve it into Mega Diancie. Sigilith is going to be spawning in New York City. This will be the first time it will be spawning in North America. You also have Aerodactyl the Satchel debuting in North America in New York City. And then you have some new shinies for the event, such as Shiny Golett, Shiny Skrelp, Shiny Unknown M, and Shiny Unknown exclamation points. I wish that I could just come back from New York to Nevada with a Shiny Unknown exclamation point. Unknown will be spawning during the first 2 minutes of the beginning of an hour, meaning that some of the spawns that you're seeing will disappear in the beginning of the first 2 minutes of an hour. So from like 9 a.m. to 9:02 a.m., there's gonna be Unknown everywhere. Quickly catch or just simply quickly shiny check until you get the Shiny Unknown that you want. Also, just catch a bunch of Shiny Unknown exclamation point, since that is one of the rarest Unknowns ever. The last time it was released was 2017. So even if you don't get a shiny, save it and you could trade it with your friends to help complete the Unknown decks. And now for one of the most important parts of Go Fest, the spawns. The habitats. We're gonna start off with the prehistoric volcano. Pokemon include Kangaskhan, Aerodactyl with a Satchel, Dratini, Slugma, Cranidos, Shieldon, Darumaka, Archon, Axew, Heatmore, and Tyrant. The following Pokemon that you should focus on: Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is a regional exclusive in Australia, and the last time that we had Kangaskhan was in Mega Raids when Mega Kangaskhan came out. Also, speaking of which, it had a Mega form. You also want to get the shiny if you did not get it during the Kanto Tour back in 2021. This would be a good Pokemon to hunt. Aerodactyl with a Satchel. This will be a new shiny since it's a costume Pokemon. It's going to be one of the top rock type attackers, whether you Mega Evolve it or not. Dratini, just because Dragonite is just super cool. Cranidos, because Rampardos, its evolution, is going to be one of the top 7 rock type attackers in raids. Heatmore, because it is a regional exclusive in the Eastern Hemisphere. It used to be the West, but Durant and Heatmore swapped like a year or two ago. So if you didn't get the shiny, this would be a good chance to grind after it. And finally, Tyrant. If you did not get a shiny Tyrant during the Adventure Week, this is like your second chance to go after it. Also, Tyrantrum is one of the top 20 strongest rock types in Pokemon Go. Then we have the Poison Swamp habitat. These are the following spawns during this event: Zubat, Venonat, Tentacool, Surskit, Gulpin, Seviper, Skorupi, Venipede, Pawniard, Skrelp, and Noibat. Zubat, just because it is a not easy shiny to find, and Golbat is pretty decent in the Great League. Seviper, because it's a regional, and it does have a shiny if you didn't get it during the Hoenn Tour. Skorupi, just because it's a cool shiny, and it evolves into Drapion, which is one of the top poison type attackers, probably like the top 15. Pawniard is going to be one of the most important spawns during this habitat, because it is normally in 12-kilometer eggs and it's a rare shiny. So if you want to save on those rocket radars and those super incubators, this is a spawn that you're going to want to focus on. If you're lucky, you can get that nice blue shiny. And speaking of shinies, Skrelp is the brand new shiny during this event. So going to the Poison Swamp would be the reason you're shiny hunting for Skrelp. And then finally, we have Noibat, which evolves into Noivern, which is a pretty decent dragon type. But considering the fact that it already had a community day, I mean, if you get a Noibat, that's awesome. The next habitat is called the Cursed Treasures. These are the spawns during that habitat: Ghastly, Pinsir, Eevee, Snorlax, Nosepass, Sableye, Chimecho, Yamask, Clink, Bullet, and Durant. The Ghastly one is important because Mega Gengar ranks as the #1 ghost type attacker. Pinsir, because it also has a Mega Evolution, currently would be the #1 bug type attacker. Eevee has a lot of evolutions, but the best ones to go after are Umbreon, Glaceon, and Sylveon. Snorlax, just because it's a rare spawn and a rare shiny. Sableye, because it has a Mega Evolution, which will come in handy for the Halloween event. However, it's not the best Mega, so you're pretty much catching it for extra Stardust. Chimecho, also because you can get some extra Stardust. We caught a lot of Chimecho at the Hoenn Tour and got so much Stardust. We also have Golett, which is the brand new shiny during this event and will be the reason you're going to want to go to the Cursed Treasure habitat. And finally, Durant, because it's a regional in this part of the hemisphere. And finally, we have the Athletic Field habitat. These are the following spawns: Voltorb, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Hitmontop, Shroomish, Makuhita, Spoink, Zangoose, Baltoy, Lucario, and throw. Shroomish does give you extra Stardust if you catch it, so drop those star pieces. Zangoose is a regional in the Eastern Hemisphere. We did get our fair share of Zangoose shinies. You also have Throw, which is also regional here in the Western Hemisphere. And finally, the most important spawn of this habitat, and arguably one of the most important spawns during the entire Go Fest, just like with Osaka and London, is Lucario for many reasons. Number one, Lucario is a rare spawn. It never spawns in the wild until now, and if you're lucky, you can get a shiny Lucario. It's not a new shiny, because normally you get a shiny Lucario by hatching a shiny Riolu in an egg and then evolve it into Lucario. The fact that we can now encounter a Lucario in the wild is insane. You get extra candy, you get extra XP. It's one of those second stage evolution spawns that you should prioritize. Not to mention that Lucario is meta relevant in PvP. It is very useful in raids, and it's actually a really good counter against Pokemon that Team Go Rocket leaders and Giovanni use in general. So overall, the versatile and the usage of Lucario in Pokemon Go is important. And one more thing that I shouldn't have to mention, but I will anyway, Lucario will one day be a Mega Lucario. It will be the #1 fighting type in Pokemon Go. So when I say it's important to go after Lucario, I really mean that it's important. And finally, for all habitats, whether you have it on Incense or if you're going around the city, you will see the Amethyst Crown Pikachu, which some people got the shiny. You also have unknown letters ADIMNO and exclamation point. Again, unknown M and unknown exclamation point will be the new shinies. And finally, Sigalith, because it is a regional that has never been featured outside of its region. Unfortunately, this is the only Pokemon that we have mentioned that cannot be shiny. Now, forget about the spawns. We do have raid bosses, starting with Mega Rayquaza. This will be making its North American debut. So if you are playing in the city, you have a ticket, you get some meteorites, you get some Mega Energy, and you're going to Mega Evolve one of the coolest Megas in the history of Pokemon, period. You also have 5-star rate bosses like Cresselia, Xerneas, and Yveltal. Xerneas and Yveltal will learn the exclusive moves Geomancy and Oblivion Wing. And not to mention that those rate bosses that we just mentioned will have a location card. Let's talk about some research, because there's a lot of special research and there's one-time research that you should not be sleeping on when you are in New York for Go Fest. So the first one is the Park Adventure Special Research, where you can get Mega Diancie by doing a Step 5 research. Pretty much you have to finish all of it, maybe not all, but at least some steps at the park, because you have to be in different habitats to finish certain tasks to then proceed to the next step in order to complete this research. Now granted, I said it was a special research and not a time research, because technically you can finish this whenever you want, but save the trouble and at least finish step 2, so then you can just finish step 3, 4, and 5 outside of the park or whenever. Step 2 requires you to do something in a different habitat, like spinning a stop or taking a picture of a Pokemon in that habitat. It might change, but to kind of like save the trouble, just finish that step for the research and then just proceed, and then you can get your Diancie and your Mega Diancie. The next one is the Mega Rayquaza one for the city adventure part of the special research. Again, is a 5-step research, and pretty much all you need to do is just do some raids, walk around, find a route, do this and that, and then you will Mega Evolve a Mega Rayquaza in a step to get your best Mega Rayquaza to Mega Evolve. And again, you can finish that whenever you want. But there is one time research that you have to finish if you are playing in New York City, and it's called Go for Gold. It is a 3-step research, time research. Yeah, and pretty much you just have to follow a route and do other stuff. And then the third final step, it's autocomplete, so you can just proceed and move on. But honestly, if you are a ticket holder for New York City's Go Fest, I would recommend that being one of the first things to finish, because then you can just get out of the way, and then you don't have to worry about, oh shoot, I forgot to do the time research when I was there. So then you don't have to deal with it. The last thing I want to talk about are the eggs. Like we mentioned earlier, 10-kilometer eggs don't have the best spawns, and they also don't have shiny rates. So unlike the Hoenn Tour, these 10-kilometer eggs are only useful for bonuses. But if you're curious to know what the 10-kilometer eggs are going to feature, they'll feature Mawile, Bagon, Tortuga, Archon, Emolga, Dino, Tyrant, Amora, Gumi, Rockruff, and Jangmo-o. I wouldn't worry about the 10-kilometer eggs. What I would worry about are the 7-kilometer eggs. When people in Osaka and London were playing Go Fest, these were the following Pokemon that they were able to get during the event. They were able to get Heracross, they were able to get Patilil and Jupiter, they were able to get the Galarian Darumaka, they also got Sigilyph and Dedenne. And those are actually really good 7-kilometer eggs. We don't know exactly what the pool is for this 7-kilometer egg pool, but I'm going to assume that we may get Kangaskhan, just because we had Heracross in Osaka and London. Skrelp and Golett, since Patilil and Jupiter were featured in 7-kilometer eggs in their respected Go Fest. And then you also have Galarian Darumaka, but I think since we have Darumaka here in New York, in North America, we might be hatching those. Sigilyph is probably going to be the same, so that everybody can be able to get a Sigilyph from a 7-kilometer egg. And then instead of the Dedenne, I had to pick a Pokemon from the same habitat as Skrelp or Golett, and I picked Pawniard from the Poison Swamp because technically Pawniard is also exclusive in eggs, but I feel like with a 7-kilometer egg with the Enthusiast bonus, it will be a lot easier. So we might do an episode where we're just simply hatching 7-kilometer eggs while we're in the city. Because honestly, man, when it came to eggs this year, your boy was popping off with some shinies. We might do 7-kilometer eggs. Don't assume that I'm going to do 10-kilometer eggs. And then we had some tips and advice on how to be prepared in the game and from like in-person real life and all that stuff. But I already talked about all that during the Osaka London Go Fest prep video. So obviously I don't need to repeat myself on here. But anyway, guys, that is an overview of everything you need to know about Pokemon Go Fest 2023 in New York City. We hope to see you guys there at Randall's Island Park. I cannot wait. This is my first ever Go Fest in person and my second in-person event. I cannot wait. We're going to have some great content for you guys next week. You don't want to miss it. We will see you next time. Peace out.